Aviron, Ergata, and Hydrow. Now each of these have some things in common, starting with they're all fantastic rowers. They're different, they have things that you need to learn about them to make sure they match what you want out of an exercise, but they are great machines, great connected fitness experiences, and overall just great ways to get fantastic exercise. Something else they have in common is that they're a little expensive, starting from about $2,000 as of right now, working your way up to $2,500. But Hydrow has made the wave. So if you want these, you look at these and you say, wow, they are awesome, I want them. I just don't want to spend quite that much. Let's put together this wave and see what we think. The Hydrow Wave is here. Let's put it together and see what I think. So the wave is put together and we're gonna break this thing down, but first a few things I noticed. I'm beginning with the packaging, and I know this might not seem like a big deal, but I've had products arrive that you can tell during shipment, whatever happens, happens. That was not the case with this. It was packaged so well, you know they take pride in what they're sending you, and they want it to arrive to you in perfect condition. So I appreciate that. It's just a great start. Second, assembly was so easy. With a broken ankle, a dog that wanted to play fetch, and having to film this, I still got it done in like 30 minutes. They just put a lot of thought into making the initial experience extremely easy, and I am very much appreciating that. And the last of my initial thoughts, it does come with a vertical anchor. I'm not gonna test this. I have concrete walls, and because of the YouTube thing, I move stuff all the time, so it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to try to put it into a concrete wall, but they do have it. So if you wanna store it and know it's secure and vertical, you're gonna be able to do that. So just so you know, it does come with that. Moving on to looks, well, it's definitely different than the original Hydrow, but I'll put footage on screen and let you decide for yourself. So as you look into the wave, the thing you're gonna end up doing is comparing it to the original Hydrow and wondering if the savings are worth it. What do you lose with this model? Well, from a content and experience standpoint, I can't tell a difference. You still have all that same content. The screen works great. It's very interactive. You have live rides. You can do all the same stuff. So that Hydrow experience, the content they're known for, that instructor relationship and how you feel like you're on the water with them, you still get all of that. So the experience is still there. Now, yes, this is a smaller screen. So that whole immersive feeling like it's kind of wrapping around you, it's so big in front of you, you do lose a little bit of that. But I will say when it comes to rowing, because that screen is right in front of you, it doesn't really need to be that big. For some reason, you're just rowing straight back and forward, and you just got to pay attention to them and listen. You don't need a huge screen in front of you. It really hasn't bothered me much. I still think this works great. The clarity, the quality of the picture, it's all fantastic. So yes, it's smaller, and that's something you have to ask yourself if that's something you don't want to deal with. You want the full big screen. But if that's not a big deal to you, and it wasn't to me, I think this will do the job just fine. And I hope you are finding this helpful, and if so, do me a favor and hit that like button real quick. Thank you. Moving on to the actual rowing experience, and I'm pleasantly surprised. This was another area I didn't know if they would compromise. This is where they reduce costs. And there are differences, but it feels very good. As far as resistance goes, it is there throughout the whole range of motion. There's no gaps, and it's nice and consistent. You have control, so if you go into the screen, you have the ability to change it. You can make it easy, hard, or anywhere in between. So you have a lot of control to get the type of workout you want. The resistance does have a little bit of texture to it, so you can just feel like a pattern in there. This is not a con. The original Hydrow is very smooth. This just has a little bit of texture. It's really not a big thing. Doesn't really change anything for me. It's just a difference, and I wanted to point that out. But really, it doesn't make a difference on which route you go, because they both, as far as resistance go, are very good. The seat is fluid, it's comfortable, it's a rower seat. I think they're all just fine. I don't get very picky on that, but it works just fine. I'm able to go back and forth very smooth. I don't feel snags. Everything works really well. So from an experience, from a row, everything you want out of this, I don't feel like there's a compromise. I don't feel like I bought the cheaper model. I feel like this is a very good option, and I'm very happy with it. And if at any point you're watching this and say, boy, his form is terrible, I have a broken ankle. I'm just pushing with 1 foot. It's a little tricky, and form is going out the window, but I still can test it just fine. So the Wave is supposed to be a little bit of a little brother to the Hydrow, coming at $800 cheaper as of this video. The Hydrow is at $2,500, where the Wave is around $1,700. And when it comes to home gym equipment, when you see that big of a price difference, you expect to lose a lot. You expect to have that decision where you're like, oh, I know this is much lesser of a model, but do I want to save my money or not? And it's a very tough decision. But with the Wave, something I'm really appreciating is you don't really feel like it's a little brother experience. The experience experience is still there. They didn't take anything away. The actual rowing, the resistance, the feel, the comfort is still very, very good. I don't feel like there's a compromise there at all. You still get all the content that we've already discussed, so you don't lose anything there, and you still have all the different screens, all that information available to you, whether it's your profile, ride history, and things like that. But also you have the ability to connect devices, your Bluetooth, your heart rate monitors. Nothing is taken away. There are no like, oh, they checked this off. They removed that little section to show that you didn't quite get the top of the line model, which companies like to do. So I appreciate that. The experience is still there. So if you're saving $800, you have to lose something somewhere. So what is it? So to start, as already mentioned, the screen is quite a bit smaller, so you're going to have to be able to accept that. But also, it does not swivel or tilt. It isn't a fixed position where the original Hydrow, you can go side to side, but you can also tilt it just to get at that perfect angle or do off the rower exercises if you want to use it for something like that. But if you're just rowing and you just want that direct view, it's not really a big deal. And I didn't feel like it needs to be angled or anything. So probably not a huge deal, just depends on how you want to use it and what you want to get out of it. Another big difference is the material used. The Hydrow is made out of steel, where this is, I believe, polycarbonate. So the pro on this side is that it's going to be lighter, but steel is stronger, so that's going to be the better material for long term, but this is no slouch either. Another thing, this is about 30% smaller than the Hydrow, and I would say that's a con if it impacted the experience, but at 6'3", I didn't feel like I was compromised at all. I felt like I was still able to do the full motion and got everything out of it, so I'd actually say that's a pro for the Wave. And another pro for the Wave, it doesn't make nearly as much noise as the Hydrow, and I really like that. And I think the best way to summarize this video is to say this is the budget-friendly rower that does not feel like a budget-friendly rower. They have just found the perfect ways to make small changes that reduce the price and save you a lot of money without feeling like you're compromising the experience. You still get that full Hydrow experience, the Peloton of rowers. There is a reason they're called that. They just do things really well, and you don't feel like, man, I really cut costs and I took away from what I could have had. I should have just got the nice one. They just kill it. This feels great. And for $800 in savings, unless you look at some of the features of the main Hydrow and go, I have to have the bigger screen, I have to this, I have to have this, I have to have that. This is a fantastic option. It just feels really nice and feels like an option that I think would make a lot of people happy. So I hope that helps you out with your decision-making progress. And if so, please do hit that like button. Subscribe to stay on top of everything where health technology meet. And until next time, here's to a healthier you, and have a good one.